Hey, ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Spy Family. And I gotta say, this was such an awesome episode. We, the faces were amazing from Anya, the reactions, a new family member joining the Forgers here with the doggo. But besides all of the wholesomeness, the funny scenes, the faces, and everything like that, I really gotta give the series so much credit for the serious things, especially with Sylvia, what we find out about her in this episode, her inner monologue. I'm really starting to like her quite a lot, and also Lloyd making a very good point towards the end of the episode, kind of got me wondering about the future of the series. So let's get into it and talk about it. Now it picks up right at the beginning, right straight from last episode with Lloyd shooting off the bomb from the dog, actually saving the dog, poor dog over there, not showing how much he cares, not just how good he is at what he's doing, despite the poor dog being locked a bit in a trash can until they can save it over there. Even Keith being completely dumbfounded at what happened there. Now, what Lloyd, you see how much he cares throughout the episode, not just with the situation with the dog, but how much things have changed the dynamic with him, especially with this episode with the family, and an advice he gives to Anya, and we'll get to that. Now, meanwhile, Yor was also awesome in this episode. She was still losing her mind trying to find Anya. And I gotta say, is Yor superhuman? Because we've seen how capable she is at fighting. We know she's an assassin, which I really hope at some point they're gonna expand more on her history, her past, how she got these abilities. But she actually jumps in front of Kiss' car and literally kicks the car into a light post on the road or so. Kiss almost died rather from a kick to the car, and she makes another call, calling the police. I'm the housewives. The terrorists had an accident. Yeah, very innocent housewives can just kick a car because why not? Don't get me wrong, I love it. Yori is awesome, but how powerful is she really? I hope we're gonna get an episode focused on Yor, because with Lloyd, we kind of are grasping a bit about his past with that flashback we got in the first few episodes of the series in part 1, slowly throughout his monologue, slowly revealing more about himself. But with Yor, we just know he became an assassin to take care of her brother. But also more and more questions, especially after it, how powerful is she? Now, after this, the incident is finally over. We see the aftermath. Apparently the government is also gonna cover everything up, so nobody, the public, is gonna know about this. And slowly they all walk towards each other. Lloyd, Yor, and Anya come face to face from different direction, and they finally meet. Lloyd being a bit frustrated and feeling guilty that they also got involved into all of this, but I still think it was all about his toilet problems. He's gonna get a reputation with these toilet issues he keeps having himself. Even Yor blaming herself about the food. She thinks she was the reason for it. Now, what I like that Lloyd, he acts more and more as a father. He even chastised Anya a bit, screaming at her why was she so reckless, why she went off alone, and she needed to hear those things. Even though it seems a bit harsh, she really needed to hear those. And you see, it comes from a place that he cares. Even though this might be a fake family, more and more they're starting to care for each other there. And even Yor also at the same time, we see through what she has been through trying to get Anya after she kept running all over the place. Now we have the police, as in the handler being disguised, saying they're gonna take the dog because it was part of the experiments and so on. And I gotta say, Anya really makes this show. I love all of the characters, but I'm sure everybody can agree on this. Anya is the best character in the series. She instantly says, I want the dog, I want to take care of it, and you're against it at the beginning, but you do not go against Anya. Everybody loses when they go against Anya. And she learned a very useful trick, so to say. And she has a lot more power than they all know, because she knows, she probably doesn't understand the full situation, but she knows she has more leverage because of her mind reading ability. She knows about the mission, about things that Lloyd doesn't realize she knows, and just goes, if not, I will go bad and stop going to school. And the faces she made there. Blackmail skill acquired. That was awesome right there. She had all the power and she used that. Even the handler was like, okay, we gotta do this. But also at the same time, you see Anya has a very big heart. While she cares about the doggo, both of them care about each other. Was even worried about the other dogs, and Sylvia, the handler, telling her they will be okay, they will be taken care of there. Now, this is where it goes a bit into more serious things, thanks to Sylvia giving some looks to Lloyd, talking about with him a bit, saying she likes Anya. And this is where she says something. Apparently, she also had a daughter the same age as Anya. And if you think back at that speech we had last episode with the war, what it means, and how much you lose, kind of puts into perspective for what she's fighting and what she has lost also. And I'm gonna assume she probably lost her daughter. Of course, we don't know the circumstances, but probably during the war. And this is why she is the way she is right now. Gives so much character development to a simple character we haven't really seen quite a lot compared to the other characters. I don't mean simple in a bad way, but not as a frequent character, which I hope we're gonna see a lot more of Sylvia, because I'm starting to really like her. She's one of the best characters in the series. Now, after all of this, everything ended in peace. All is well that ends well, to say. Over there, they're gonna take the dog for one day to check it, give it some checkups, if any illnesses and things like that. And Anya's like, don't let your guard down until you're home. I really like her serious modes, how she goes from one to another. But yeah, Sylvia's moment was again really good in this episode. Now, after they were heading back home, everybody was thinking what they did, what happened during this entire incident. Yor was very happy she defeated the bad guy, she did something good. Anya helped save the world with the bomb. All of them were feeling really good about each other. And meanwhile, you have Lloyd over there. Exhausted was an understatement. It felt like somebody drained the life out of him with everything he's been through, with the spying, with the mission, with the terrorists, with the bomb, with the disguise. All over, split in 10 different sides. But he still pulled through. Poor Lloyd. But yeah, now after that, on the second day, we see news about the accident with the car that Yor kicked over there. Anya was losing her mind waiting for the doggo to show up. It finally comes home. And this is where you see the vision turning, being correct, coming true, with them looking over at the dog. That scene we had there, which I hope at some point we can get some explanation with how exactly the powers of the dog work, what happened, what are the rules, the limitations, and also the same things apply to Anya. We have so many unanswered questions, be it Anya, be it the dog, be it Yor, and some for Lloyd also. Now, this is where it gets sad, to say the least, because during that moment we get to see a flashback with everything that the dog has been through, the experiments, the poor treatment, and no. To say it had a hard life would be an understatement. How they were treating those dogs over there. Now, yeah, finally after all of that, he gets to have a good life now, have a family also. Kind of the same way I feel like Anya has felt throughout everything that has happened so far, which I hope she didn't go through the same experiments like the dogs, because no, I don't want to see Anya in that position, to say the least. And both of them being happy to be together, the smiles were infectious in this episode. Now she got a bit salty after that because she's not gonna get any stars, even though she beat the bad guys and saved the world, because everything is going to be a secret. So kind of seeing a bit of Lloyd's world with him being a spy, and spies don't get credit for the things they do always behind the scenes. So she kind of had a mission like Lloyd, to say. Now evil genius Anya is back with the friendship scheme, being back to befriend Damien to get to his house for the main mission, and she wants to use the dog as a intro, so to say, for them to get together. But also I hope, while Anya is very focused on Damien, I hope she's gonna focus a bit more on Becky, because Becky actually genuinely cares about her, even saying finally Anya is past her starlight phase, which I'm not so sure, but at least it's not so so much. We don't have permanent starlight that Anya that we had in previous episodes. Now, while Becky was really happy that Anya had a dog, they were thinking about names also. Becky said, "Hey, can I come over to play with the dog or things like that?" But Anya instantly left there, heading towards Damon. This is why I hope at some point Anya is gonna focus a bit more on Becky and their friendship, and realize that Becky actually genuinely cares about her. Hopefully we're gonna get to see that pretty soon. Now Anya headed straight for Damien, and the smugness, they're saying, I have a dog now. Very, very smug. But at least like her entire world crumbled down when Damien was just like, yeah, so what? Like, he destroyed her, she fell down. And those two stooges, I forgot her name, was like, hey Damien, with just one word you made a peasant kneel. But internally we know that Damien has a crush on Anya, and he actually felt bad, didn't realize was what I said that bad, or and tried, made an effort, so to say, asking what's the name of the dog. And this is where things didn't really work out for Anya, because she was like, it's just dog. He just left, he had enough. And this is where he wants to have a name for the dog. Again, talking with Becky, which I feel like she's kind of taking a bit the relationship with Becky kind of for granted. At some point, I really hope they're gonna pay more attention between Becky and Anya, even at some point saying she wants to name the dog Peanuts. Everything is about Peanuts, but it doesn't work out, and she realizes she's not really good with names, saying Anya has bad taste. The voice is amazing. Every time she stops to that realization that something bad happened, it's so good. Now he finally heads back home. The dog just jumps her, instantly licks her to death. Even Anya screaming, save me, save me. Of course, it's all fun, wholesome moments throughout the episode, and they decide to take the dog for a walk. And this is the moment was very important here, because she asks to hold the leash, but Lloyd tells her, hey, not yet, it's way too soon, especially for you right now. You're gonna have a big responsibility here. Take care of the dog, his training, taking care of him, learning, both of you, but also you're gonna have to take care of him until the end. And while this, remember this, he says something very important here, and we're gonna touch more about this a bit later on. Now they finally when the moment that Yor over misunderstood something, saying do dogs misunderstand causes of death? Then that scene was awesome. Their poor dog has no idea who Yori is. But now at the dog park, I feel like the park was more for Anya than for the dog. She was hyperactive, having fun, just the curiosity, the happiness, the simple joy Anya can express during just things we take for granted. It's really, really wholesome. They're seeing other dogs playing with frisbee. She tried to throw her boot, but nothing happened because she assumed the dog doesn't have a name, and she starts suggesting some interesting name to say the least: Lucky Vanilla, Atomic Angel, and very long names. Imagine being named like that, but I think she's not really good with names. Now, this is the moment that I mentioned. While Anya was having fun, the time of her life there, Lloyd was pondering something very serious. Now, while he gave that advice, Anya, be prepared to take care of him until the end, it kind of struck close to home for him because it applies also to what he's doing with Anya being her father, with being the husband of Yor, thinking that while the mission, after the mission is gonna be over, how he's gonna handle that situation, even though he says he's gonna check up on them. I don't know how that is gonna end up, so that struck a chord to say the least, and makes me think about the future of the series. Let's say they succeed in the mission, peace comes. What's gonna happen then? Imagine how broken Anya is gonna be. Floyd has to leave, the family breaks apart. You're also, because while they don't realize it, they care for each other quite a lot, and I feel like maybe they're gonna realize it way too late. I don't know, but if you guys have been watching my videos, you know what I want for the series to happen. If Anya ever reveals her powers, I hope that both Lloyd and Yor are gonna decide to stay together for her and always protecting her. I hope they're gonna actually become a family, like them recognizing they are a family, like admitting it, not just pretend for their own reasons, because each and every one of them has a reason why they're together here. And I really liked that scene quite a lot from Lloyd. Hopefully, we're gonna see what the future holds for the series, and him putting that pressure again, saying he wants to end the war as fast as possible. This facade of a peace they have, this Cold War. But after that, we'll have to wait and see. And it was finally time to go home and study, much to the dismay of Anya. More studying, but she lost something, her gloves over there. And while she was frantically looking for them, we see them in the mouth of another dog, which seemed very aggressive, but we have Big Brother Doggo, the white one, going and just patting that dog on the back there, imposing over him, intimidation style, not doing it. And we know probably this dog is a bit of a coward from what we think. He did hide behind Anya's back during that moment with the terrorists, but at least he knows how to handle other doggos. That dog got scared, to say the least. He was sweating everything over there. He drops the gloves, and Anya gets her gloves back. Now back home, and not back home. Sorry. During that moment, she thinks of Bondman, the TV series she follows. A very similar moment with Bondman returning something to the princess, and she gets an idea for a name for the dog, and his name being Bond. I'm Doggo Bond Dog. Well, no, just Bond. I'm messing around. It's a really good name for a dog. Even gets his first mission to eat the food. She actually tries one thing. It's not bad, but it's not good also. It's just meh. Now, with her being able to read minds, she even tells him, hey, that's your toilet over there. Only go there. Don't go anywhere else, or Mama is gonna get mad. And you really don't want Yor to get mad, so don't go anywhere else. Now, they finally get some time to relax. Even though Lloyd wants her to study, she just spends time watching Bondman with the dog, and just the most wholesome moment at the end of the episode. Yor sees her and she calls over Lloyd, and you see Anya just falling asleep with the dog. They burned so much energy, and yeah, that was a wholesome moment. I feel like this entire series can be just very, very wholesome, and I really like it. Has these serious things that also happen during it, especially with Sylvia. That put quite a lot more perspective into the series, and also how much pressure Lloyd puts on himself. And yeah, a very good question. What's going to happen after this mission is over? Now, I'm curious what you guys thought about the episodes, the series overall. What do you think about it? And let me know if you want me to keep covering it, because I feel like this season is just so insane. So many good series are this season. I just want to be able to keep up with all of them, but it gets too much. So I want to have a conversation with you about Spy Family, all of the other series I'm covering. So let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot. You guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Spy Family. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.